parents, it's time for your daily sanity saving tip to help survive life in lockdown during the pandemic. And a lot of parents have been telling me that their kids are a little bit at the end of their rope, that they're emotionally fried, and it's starting to get expressed in some unwanted behaviors. And it's getting a little tougher to live with them. And it is true that our behaviors are some of the ways that kids communicate to us. And we can see that they're off. We can see that they're carrying some kind of a load, but often they're not able to or unwilling to open up and talk to us about it. Especially so for our boys. Boys are sort of taught that the emotional domain is a female quality and that somehow you are vulnerable or weak, and it's less than masculine to talk about your emotions. This is not true, of course, but it is the way we socialize our young men. Call it toxic masculinity, gender stereotyping, whatever it is. But we really do need to break through that. So first thing for parents to know is that, first of all, not all of your kids are going to want to tell you everything that's going on in their lives as they hit the teen years. They do want more privacy. So you can't just go digging around for your own curiosity. The second thing is that there are just naturally people who are going to be low disclosers about their lives. And perhaps in your adult friends, you can look around and realize that there's some people who keep the conversation kind of light and never really tip their cards on what's going on. That's just how they go through life. So some people are going to be more extroverted and put it all out there, and others are going to be a little bit more conservative about how they share their insides. And your kid falls somewhere on that spectrum, and that's them. But we do want to help our kids process their emotions and let them know that we're here to listen. And part of the ways that we can do that is to try to set up the situation as best as possible for success. So one thing is to try to use your timing to your advantage. So it's a lot easier if you're sort of just having some nice one-on-one time and there's another activity going on, driving in the car, doing some gardening work together, throwing around a frisbee that can help them have some action and motion, and if the conversation starts to go dry or they need to think about their thoughts, they can sort of go back to the game. The second thing is when we want to check in, and you might just say, hey, you seem to be a little out of sorts. Is everything okay? Anything you want to talk about? We can make an invitation to chat about that. They'll take us up on the invitation or they won't, but we can let them know we're always here to listen if they do want to come talk at another time. Part of it is to just really get good at our listening skills, so that our kids develop over time a sense of trust that you are actually somebody who will hear them out without judgment, without fixing, without criticizing. And the proof is in the pudding. So the more we can just sort of hold that space for them to talk. A lot of times kids solve their own problems after they process them. Sometimes there's no problem to be solved. It just feels good to get it out there and to talk about it. Whatever they say, we want to just normalize and show trust in them to be able to manage. Maybe share a story of a similar situation that happened to us in our childhood so that they know that they're not alone, that this is how people feel and that it happened to you too. So honing up those listening skills. And actually, when you really get good at it, if you think about it, it's a lot easier just to be the listener when you're not constantly thinking about what would be a good reply. So it takes a load off, actually. So maybe practice a little bit today. Can you listen? Listen without having to fix. Listening without having a little comeback, just holding that space. Give it a try.